Hello. Life updates. Life is very weird. My 2025 ends with a little disappointment, and now I had almost a week to process it, so I do feel slightly better. But basically, my hours at my work are getting cut. It was a nice gift before Christmas. I was informed about it a week before Christmas, 2 weeks before New Year and my birthday, so that was extremely fun. And it was disappointing because this is not my mistake and not my error. And as someone who works honestly and fairly and hard, it was really disappointing. I took it extremely personally. This is not okay. And it only means one thing: I will need to find a new job, which I'm not looking forward to it. The good thing, actually, I have been looking for a new job, but just slowly, but now it has to be an active thing. I'll have more free time for now. It's weird to navigate it because I'm not fired. I still have a job, but at the same time, it's barely a job. I don't know how to navigate it. I think I'll be okay. Honestly, I don't want to be angry or hold grudges. I think in a way everything happens for a reason, and I talked about it with my mom, and she said, well, you already have been looking for a job, but this will prompt you to look even harder, which is true. I can only laugh at this point. What else? I think there have been like little things happening. I have a lot of anxiety. Every time before my birthday, holidays, I always think something bad will happen. I feel like, I don't know, I'm dying or something like that. I have a lot of anxiety. I'm just so nervous, and I guess, of course, we're all dying from the moment we are born, but I'm just so scared. I'm scared that good things will be taken away and it will be just very, very bad. I have really a lot of anxiety, and after the news of my job, like, I felt peace inside of me, but one day I also felt like somebody was just like punching me in my like stomach area. This is how anxious I was because I was really scared about my future, and 2026, this is not how I picture my next year. This is not how I picture the end of this year. So I really felt like somebody was just like punching me continuously in my stomach. That was so weird. So yeah, a lot of anxiety, but at the same time I have this peace of something similar to when my dad passed away. Have this peace, and I heard the saying, everything will be okay, and I feel like it will be okay. Even if bad things happen, I think like I'll be okay, and we'll be okay, and I'll be able to navigate it because I'm working on myself and I'm teaching myself how to navigate those things. My reaction to the events in general really surprised me because I was calm, but of course I still have, as I mentioned, anxiety and stress, and just in general I'm an overthinker and I have very anxious mindset. I always think about worst case scenarios, but at the same time I just don't have anger anymore. I need to keep going forward. There is nothing I can do. It's just very weird because I have no idea how to navigate it. I read about people who got fired before Christmas, which is very, cut and clear, you're fired, but here you're not technically fired, you're still employed, you just have less hours. So weird. So weird, but I'll be okay. This is not how I pictured my life. This is not how I pictured 2025 or the end of 2025. This is not how I pictured going into 2026, but I'm surprised by my own reaction and how I navigate that, and how I want to navigate 2026 and who I want to be at the end of that year. So with that being said, I want to show you some things I made recently. So I made these coasters. I initially made them for Christmas, but I didn't put them on a table because, well, Christmas was yesterday, by the way. I didn't put them on a table because I don't think they fit the color scheme, but it was so fun. I started with this one. I just like the color combination, and I made one, and then I thought, hold on a second, let me make another one. I think the next one was this or this. It's very easy to make. You just crochet, and I enjoy crocheting, and this is the last one. I don't know which one is my favorite one. I kind of like all of them, and I like that it's like a little stack. The biggest one on the bottom, then second biggest, third, and then the smallest. So I really enjoy it. And I also made this bag or holder for my ebook. I actually tried to block it. I put it in like water, and then I put it in a dryer, which kind of defeated the purpose of blocking a crochet project. So I did it again, and now I'm just waiting for it to dry. I know technically I have to pin it, but I'm just kind of over it. I just want to put my ebook in here. It's very cute. I still need to put some sort of a button or I don't know, something. Not a Velcro, but yeah, something magnetic button. So that would be very fun. I just love simple projects like that. I have some other ideas for fabric art and crocheting. I'm actually crocheting a blanket right now. I have the yarn that I know I will not be using for anything. I bought it initially a few years ago actually to make a cardigan, but this is just not my color scheme. Now let's just talk about 2026 and planning 2026, but for that we'll have to transport to the table. Okay, now we talk about planning 2026. I have been actively working with this little journal that I created for myself, and it has been quite good. But I have to be honest, I have not been as lost as I am right now about my future and what to do with my life. I feel like when you have stability, it's way easier to plan than when you don't have stability. So that's why I'm very careful with using the word goal or planning quarterly or weekly or monthly, but we'll talk about it a little bit later because I actually have certain plans for myself for January and February. But this little journal has been really helpful. Next thing I want to show you is my bingo journal. This is the journal that I started in the beginning of summer, and I thought I could complete this whole journal in just one season, which is summer. As you can imagine, I was wrong. It's 192 pages, so yeah, I don't have that much to say, especially in the hot summer when I was extremely busy with work and other things. So when fall began, I just thought, what if I make it a seasonal journal? So my plan was to have every 3 months some sort of exercises, bingos, collages, portraits, etc. here. But fall didn't go as I wished it went for myself in this journal, and I just put this notebook on the shelf. But I really like this notebook. I think I got it at Home Goods or something similar like Marshall's. So yeah, I don't know, the papers are extremely good, thick. I really like it, but it makes me sad if I don't use a journal. You know, my goal is to always use any journal, all the pages, so I feel like it's a waste. And I thought, what if I'll just start my bingos? So I want to show you a bingo for 2026, my fun bingo. I also have a serious bingo. I will not be showing my serious bingo, but I can always show you my fun bingo. And here is one of the examples of what I put in this journal during the fall and colder season. This is a mood board for fall 2025. And then this is another example of what I put during summer. So I still may use that as partially junk journal or putting things that I ate or so. But as you know, I also have a journal where I include everything I did, saw, listen to monthly. So I don't know, this is optional, this is not needed, but yeah, this is just what I did before. So this is my 2026 fun bingo. There are some squares that are still pretty empty. It's because I can't find things that I find fun. My serious bingo is bingo that will advance me in my professional life, me as a person, healing, my hobbies on a serious note. This is just more fun things. For example, do a cooking class. I wanted to do a cooking class. There are some vegan cooking classes in the area that I live, and I wanted to do it this year, but unfortunately it got sold out. So I put for myself, do a cooking class, why not? Dine at the African restaurant. There's an African restaurant that serves vegan. I wanted to go there for years now, so I think it's about time. Do artist's way, and that's the next thing I'll talk about it. Go to a swimming pool. I love swimming pools. I have not been here to a swimming pool, so it's about time I go and explore that. I still need to find a few things that I find fun and entertaining and a little bit out of a comfort zone. And then let's talk about the artist's way. I decided that due to my current life changes, I need to do something crazy, and I've been telling my husband I need need to do something crazy. And he said, do you want to go skydiving? And I told him, well, no, not that crazy. For me, crazy is going to a writer's workshop where I'm forced to read my work. This is crazy because I've never done something like that. I don't think I'm a good writer. I don't think I'm good enough. So just putting myself in a situation like that is crazy. There's some other things that I'd like to do and I'm contemplating about doing them, and I may do them. Just all comes to me just simply registering for those things. But anyways, so my type of crazy is doing Artist Way. I had this book for a few years and I heard about Artist Way long time ago. I read bits and pieces, and so I think it's finally time for me to do that. I have been doing morning pages for some time. I will tweak that a little bit because I just don't see myself journaling in the morning 3 pages. This is just too much. I journal daily. Journaling is not a novelty for me. I have been journaling for decades, so I think I can get a pass on that. And I don't think I'll be starting a new journal. I think I'll just use my daily journal. I journal in the mornings anyways. So I think I just need to push myself a little bit to journal just more than 1 page. And again, it will not be obligatory for myself to journal 3 pages in the morning. It can be 2, it can be 1.5. But I definitely want to do at least 1 page. So I will start my year. Well, I already kind of started reading it. And as you can see, I put those marks in here so that it's easier for me to determine what chapter I'm reading, or how much is left until the next chapter. And I started it yesterday in the evening, and I will continue just prepping myself and going through this book a little bit so that I am prepared. It takes some time and dedication, and I'm excited about it. I feel like I truly need it, and this hopefully will bring something positive into my life, because I feel like I cannot just limit myself creatively. I have been limiting myself creatively for a very, very long time, and it has not been good for me. I feel like something inside of me is broken and I need to repair that when it comes to creativity and self-expression. So yes, I'll start my year with this book. Okay, now let's talk about 2026. I just need like a visual representation, visual map that I can put somewhere where I can see it all the time. So I am planning for, of course, my cat's hair is here, so I'm planning for 2026. My words of the year are intention, investment, creativity, and I think it will be truly a year of a hermit. This is something that I try to do every year for the past few years, but I don't succeed at that. So I feel like I really need to limit myself when it comes to others, except obviously the closest people. I need to put strong boundaries, and I need to dig deeper within myself, and I need to heal myself. So the year will be creative, or surrounded around creativity and healing. And as I mentioned, it will be a year of the hermit. I'm sorry about my grammar. English is not my native language, so that's what I'll be focusing on. When it comes to healing, I also want to heal my inner child, and for a fact, I want to connect to her, so connection. Another part that I want to do is I need to improve my health. So improve my health. Specifically, I need to learn about nutrition. Another thing that I want to do in 2026 is to ground myself. Let's put it here. And reconnect with nature. So grounding, reconnecting with nature. Another big part of 2026 is educating myself, personal curriculum. That's of course topic for another time, because there's so many things I want to learn, but just educating myself and, spending more time offline. And I love internet. I don't villainize internet. I think internet is like a library. If you use it correctly, you can find a lot of advantages and it can benefit you. But I have been using internet irresponsibly for myself. So I really need to focus on using internet responsibly, and so that it brings some sort of advantage and benefits into my life. Another thing that I need to focus on is no spend year. I hope it's correct. And I need to learn budgeting. Obviously, with my hours being cut, it will influence my financial situation, and I always wanted to do a year where I limit how much I buy stuff because I love buying things. I love thrifting. I don't like spending my money, but obviously when you buy things, you spend your money. I really want to challenge myself this year and try to spend less and stop buying unnecessary things. With that being said, 2026 will be a year of using what you or I have. I have a lot of the things when it comes to self-expression, creativity, paint, watercolors, pencils, markers, various types of yarns and fabrics. So I think I'm okay. I just need to start using it, which is my goal. Also, when it comes to intentions and investment, intentions, obviously, it's doing things with intentions. You know, when I come home, for example, and I'm tired, why would I reach for something frozen if I can make a salad? So if I want to have a healthy year, my intentions when it comes to food and eating is obviously to be healthy and enrich myself with nutrition. So that's what it is for me when it comes to intentions. And investment is investment to myself. So all of this means put myself first, because honestly, for a very long time, and as a people pleaser, recovering people pleaser, I've been really creating space for others. I've been making myself small on purpose so that there is space for others, so that they can fit in. I would take my space and I try to mold myself to the liking of other people, and I just cannot do that anymore to myself because this is truly not healthy. But if you're people pleaser, you probably know this feeling. So I need to learn how to put myself first and learn how to say no and define my boundaries way better. For now, I think that's it. Obviously, I have way more things. Actually, let's put one more thing. 2026, I want to focus on expressing myself through style, aka clothes, hair, and makeup. I always love doing it, so I feel like it will be fitting, especially since I really need to focus on me. As I mentioned, a year of hermit, it will be about focusing on myself and my life and what little Julia wanted to do and what teenage Julia always wanted to do, which was always creative and self-expression and being a good person. So that's my 2026. Okay, now let's talk about the first 2 or 3 months of 2026, which is, okay, let's use different side, which is January, February, and a little bit of March. So the first 2 months I want to focus on my healing. It's still winter, so it will be a darker season, which is perfect time for healing. And I want to show you tarot deck that I got for Christmas, which I wanted. I think it will be a perfect deck for healing, shadow work, and just inner child work, etc. It's Season of the Witch, Winter Tarot. I got it yesterday from my husband. My husband was my secret Santa. I tried it already and I really enjoyed it. It's been really interesting. I feel like this deck will be extremely beneficial. Oh my god, it makes me actually emotional. Yes. I had a beautiful spread yesterday. Very interesting. My only critique is the book. I wish there was more depth, and it's stunning artwork. So yes, I'm very excited about it, but just a little bit more depth in the book when it comes to explanations or advice, that would be great. But other than that, you know, I think if you're into shadow work and colder seasons, that's an amazing deck to work with. So January and February will be about healing. It will be inner child work and shadow work. I want January and February and March to be a period where I build foundation for the rest of the year. Building foundation. And if you notice, I talk very vaguely about what I'm planning because, well, I do want to focus on healing and stuff like that. I don't know where it will bring me. My life has been a little bit unpredictable, and especially given the current situation, it's very hard for me to plan things. I'm a big planner, but I'll just keep things vague for now, and hopefully there will be more clarity. So I hope this building foundation for the rest of the year will bring me clarity. So that's first thing. Another thing is I want to do artist's way. So I really want to focus on that. This is how I want to begin my year. I want to focus on my creativity. And building foundation for the rest of the year, I think it also comes to creatively and what kind of expectations I set for myself. In the beginning of the year, I want to spend more time in nature, and I want to explore nature. I want to learn about nature, and I want to ground myself, which that kind of comes to meditation and other spiritual practices. So yes, learn can be reading books or journaling, nature journaling, and explore. I want to visit new places. I think in January and February, I also kind of want to be a little bit isolated. So again, Year of the Hermit, a little more isolation. I feel like it will be very beneficial for me, and I feel like I really need it. In the beginning of the year, I also want to focus on consuming art. I want to visit museums. I want to watch some movies, classical movies. I want to read classics. At least maybe if I can read 2 or 3 in classes about art. I feel like, again, this is something that I need. I also want to build health and exercise routine. Here we also will put structure. I think that's what's important. I need to build structure, so I think like this will be the main focus of these 3 months with Artist's Way, etc. And then another thing in January specifically, and maybe a little bit in February, I want to finish my personal curriculum from 2025. I definitely overwhelmed myself, so I need to finish that. This is my January and February and a little bit of March, and this is very vaguely 2026. Those are just more or less fun things. Obviously, there will be more serious things like finding a new job and working on myself and working on my skills professionally, which honestly we can put in here. I wanted to put it in here as self-growth, but let's put professional self-growth. So I think that's very important to me. I love learning. I love becoming better. So that will kind of come in many various forms, and that will be tied to healing and personal curriculum as well. This is my little structure. I think those are the bones, the main bones of the skeleton if 2026 was a skeleton. And this is something that will give my skeleton some more, I don't know, muscles or maybe a little bit of blood. But let's say those will be muscles or brain or heart, you know, something like that. And then we'll see where the skeleton will go and how big he'll grow. But I feel like this clarifies a few things for me, and I think it helps me to define at least first 2-3 months of the next year.